Hello there, and very warm welcome to you. Thanks for joining me. If you don't know me from any other platforms, then my name is Laura, and I'm going to be doing some tarot readings for you today. Some readings, we're going to start off in the sign of Aquarius. Now, as many of you will know, if you are Aquarius Sun, it is your birthday round about now. So, first of all, in case I forget later, a very happy birthday to you. And as I've said, this is going to be for February. So what we'll do, I've lit the candle for you. It's a gorgeous big orange glow. Okay, so we've got that. I've got my cup of tea. So yeah, let's dig in and see what's coming up for Aquarius for February. Now, I'm not sure if these videos at the moment are going to be very long or not. I had intended on doing them this week and I hurt my back, so it's been a bit of a difficult week. I am sure any of you with bad backs will know that, but yeah, what can you do? Anyway, so let's see how we go here. So as I say, this is going to be Aquarius, Sun, Moon rising, Venus, and obviously cross-watching if you like that kind of thing. Okay, so let me do this here. Okay, so let's have a look and see February. Bearing in mind that February the 1st, that will be a full moon. So there's a lot of release going on. So let's pull some cards and see where we go with this. So current energy we have, okay, that makes sense. So we've got the Judgment card for that. What's coming in that you may not be aware of or not know about yet? Okay, right, two major arcana. You've got the star coming in. Let's look for some guidance, please, as well. Nice, okay. And a bit more guidance, because we'll like as much guidance as possible. Okay, and the outcome should you take the guidance. Okay, right, so let me just pull some more cards, because I want just a bit more information. The cards we've got here. So underneath the Judgment card, we've got Page of Pentacles. Underneath the Star card, we've got the Nine of Pentacles. Lovely. Underneath Ace of Swords for your guidance, you've got Eight of Pentacles. That's interesting. You've got quite a few pentacles coming up here. So let me see. 10 of Cups, again, for guidance. And the outcome under the Hanged Man, you've got Queen of Swords. Okay, now, bearing in mind, Aquarius, that you are an air sign. So swords here are represented for you, obviously for yourselves, Gemini and Libra. They're all air signs. So what I'm feeling now, when I spoke there about the full moon coming in for the 1st of February, full moons are all about releasing what no longer serves you. And I would guess that if you're watching this video, you will probably watch other tarot videos or astrology videos, and you'll have heard a lot about these new energies that's coming in. You'll also have heard that for the Chinese New Year, which I think is the 17th of February, we're going into the year of the horse. So we've just came out of the year of the snake. That was all about getting rid of things, just releasing. So there's a lot of release going on. Now, I know, and I've been talking about it in my podcast as well, January, yes, it's normally it's very much a get up and go time of year. This year, I know many of us have felt as though there's this lingering, there's just this feeling that things still have to be released. So let's go on to the reading. Why I've said all that is it makes complete sense. Now, obviously, as you will know, this is a collective reading. And I know some people say, well, if there's things that you don't understand or if they don't resonate, just leave them behind. But I do feel that many of you Aquarians, and I'm an Aquarian myself, there's a real sense of, just as I've said, coming through things have been quite difficult. I wouldn't be surprised if many of you have looked at certain friendships differently, looked at certain jobs differently. You may be questioning a lot at the moment. Things that either you haven't even thought about questioning, but all of a sudden you are. It's almost as if something has changed inside you. And a lot of that has got to do with the energies. What I do know is that many of you will be feeling very awkward about this, because it's almost as though you see and you feel an ending of something, but you're looking for the next thing to move on to. When we are changing things, when things are difficult, we do always feel as humans we need to know where we're going before we can leave that thing behind. But I know many of you, certainly with this judgment card here, judgment card normally comes in when something has arisen inside you. And sometimes you can't even say, oh, it was because of that. But there's just a change. The judgment card is very much about awakening. So, oh, the screen flashed there, okay. So as I say, it's very much about an awakening feeling here. It's almost as though many of you will be realising why you're feeling like this. I don't know why my screen is flashing, because there's no flashing lights in here and the blinds are closed. So anyway, I don't know. It's probably spirit joining us. I'm sure they will be. So yeah, so there's a real feeling here of this change. You're very aware of this change, and it's almost as though feels this very quiet underlying energy here with many of you. I wouldn't be surprised if, as this awakening feeling is coming, you're looking at things very differently. You are starting to, it's almost as though the questioning of things, the questioning of the whys, has been left to the side. There's a real feeling here from this, for many of you, that it's this acceptance, this, okay, well, we are where we are, and I've let that go, or that thing, that relationship, whatever it is finished. And there's a real feeling here of looking for the next thing, but not looking for the next thing in a worried sense. It's almost it's almost that there is this quiet energy within many of you that is just opening up to the new possibilities, many of which that you've not thought before. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you have been in relationships for a long time that you're starting to now almost see in a completely different way. But had you thought of leaving those relationships prior to now, that would have shocked you, scared you, you couldn't even have thought about it. But it's almost as if now there's a real calmness when it comes to your thoughts, when it comes to your next move. Okay, now I know many of you, as I've said, the energy that's coming in, we've got the Star and we've got the Nine of Pentacles. Now, there's a feeling here of whatever you've been thinking about, it's almost, and I don't want to say selfishness, because I am an Aquarian, as I've shared, but there's a real feeling of, if I don't look after me and what makes me happy and what fits my life and what lights me up, if I don't look after me, no one else is going to do it. So that's why I said a moment ago, there's just that feeling, and I don't want to call it selfishness, because we all deserve to be responsible for our own destiny as much as we possibly can. But I know that with the Star coming in here, you are starting to think, if many of you haven't already, and bearing in mind as well, the Star is the card of Aquarius. The Star is very much coming in with this sense of looking to the future, but long term. So that's why I feel that there's a lot of you right now who has been thinking about either relationship, long-term relationship, home move, job move. There's just this change, but it's almost as though I'm back and I need to think about me and I need to think about my long-term plans. And it's very much North Node energy. Now, I'm not an astrologer. I can read a chart, but I'm in no way an astrologer. But your North Node is thought to be it's where we are heading in this lifetime when we're here. It's where we're meant to be heading to, what we're meant to be attaining. So I think many of you will be really, I don't want to say overthinking because I don't think that's what it is. Many of you will be thinking about what is going to open up ahead for you. But I also believe that there's a real feeling of trust coming in here. There's a real feeling of following your path, following your soul journey, following where you're meant to be going. But I feel this is long term. Some of you may be thinking, as I say, about moving home or leaving job and retiring. Okay, thank you for that. My team's just saying here, okay, this is very important. I feel that there's somebody needs to get this message I'm going to say just now, that someone's going to watch this video and you have just lost your husband. And I know that and I know I'm not doing mediumship readings here, but I do know that my team are letting me know this is specifically for a lady who has lost her husband in the not so distant past, who is really thinking of moving on, as in you've moved through that stage of grief, but there's almost that feeling of this new independence of taking life. I was going to say something else there, but taking life strongly, let's just say. And it's almost as though there's just this feeling of travel. There's just this feeling of being and doing the things you maybe talked about, but the things you want to do. Okay, they're saying to me destiny here. So I know that there's somebody that will be watching this at one time. There's just that feeling of calmness, of encouragement to you. But even if that message is not for you, excuse me, there's definitely this feeling here of going towards your North Node, going towards that feeling of looking long term, of making those plans. But again, we've got 9 of Pentacles here, so that's the real feeling of abundance. I almost want to say, don't worry about things because things will work out. Now, I know that's very easy saying that, but going with what the cards are showing me so far, there's just this feeling of, it's almost, do you know what I get? It's almost the feeling of going towards the future, and none of us know what it has in store, but there's almost that quiet confidence of, it's okay, keep moving, keep stepping forward, whatever's going to unfold is exactly what is meant to do, and it will be on my path. So let's go to the advice. So those were the things that will be coming in. So we've got some great advice here. Now, there's a real sense, I feel, what's coming in here is, you know that saying, let go to let come? And when we can be I feel the time, Aquarius, I feel the time of you being worried and wound up. And I'm not saying you're not worrying about things, but that time of that overly thinking, overly worried, what's going to happen, how's it going to look? I feel that has slightly been left. in last month. Because as we're coming into February here, it's almost as though as we relax our conscious mind, our subconscious can come in and bring ideas, can bring intuition, can maybe bring things that you've not even thought about. So we have got Ace of Swords coming in here. Now, this is usually something to do with this new idea. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is going, because this has been held down here by Eight of Pentacles. I wouldn't be surprised if for some of you there is a new idea where it comes to finance. Now, that can look like a new job. It can look like an idea that you're wanting to move forward with your business. It can look at not necessarily a home move, but it can look like some kind of change. Something, it was almost as if there may be many of you that has been stuck with something at the moment. So, and I do feel this has been something financial. So it can be, as I say, you're wanting to move home, but you've not seen the right thing, or you've not, had the right home come up, or, excuse me, or it's been a business that is maybe failing, or it's not doing as well as it could. There's something that is almost whatever stagnancy you have had when it comes to your finances. There's this feeling here that an idea, some kind of new idea, is going to be coming up. Sometimes we can get our best ideas, and it's funny how we take the credit for our ideas when it's very often our spirit team. It's very often our higher self that when we close, when we quieten our mind, that's when they can say, hey, what about this? What about that? Think about that. And then obviously we take the credit and say, I've had this fabulous idea. And it's actually been from our team, our angels that are looking after us. So there is a sense of that coming in. So I do feel that as there has been some kind of difficulty towards some kind of finance, as I say, it could be work as in employer, it could be business, it could be finances, investments, home. There's something here that's coming up. It's that there's a sense here of allowing that to move, because you are quietening the mind to let these ideas come through. Okay, so next, I've pulled some more advice here. What I love about this is we've got Queen of Cups and we've got Ten of Cups. So I know that by doing this, by having this idea that we're going to allow, that we're going to keep calm, to allow these ideas to come through, to then move this thing that has been stuck. And I do want to say this has been financial. It's almost as though, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of you have been going through financial difficulties, which has been, my team's just getting involved here, financial difficulties which have been affecting your relationships. So I wouldn't be surprised, and I don't feel that there is very much wrong with these relationships, but as you all know, when there's difficult decisions to be made, or there is financial issues, that can then make us all feel very short-tempered, maybe not as loving as we want to be, not as loving as we usually are, just because of worries, just because of, as I say, this feels very financial. So don't be surprised if with this movement that's coming in and the guidance that the cards have shown, it's almost letting you know that you can afford to be more loving. Queen of Cups energy coming in here. I feel that many of you will be holding things together, will have been that strength. Now, queens are very strong, But the guidance here for me, especially as it's been bound down here by 10 of Cups, there's a guidance here to maybe just go with the flow a little bit more. Maybe just not be as caught up in our heads as we normally are, and just have that more playful side, that more loving side. So if there is someone who you're in a long-term relationship with, or not, this can be relationships, this can be partners, friends, colleagues, family. The guidance here is for you just to maybe be a little bit softer, maybe come back into that playful side of yourself, get back to doing those fun things. Even when finances are tight, you can still, I don't know, go for a walk, take the dog out, go for a walk in nature, go get coffee. Almost there's a view, just this change of this patience. Be patient with yourself, but be patient with others is what this is coming through as. And just show that love that we have. Love for other people, love for the things that we enjoy. So this bringing this joy in, because as I say, that has been underneath that, we've got 10 of Cups. So I know that by doing that, the cards are guiding you to say that by doing that and by bringing that more loving side in, that more softer side in, just reminding yourself it's not gone anywhere. It's just with what you've been through, it's been difficult, and it's been very thought-provoking. You've had worries. You're thinking of long-term goals. So you are going to be on a bit of a high alert. But through February, this is just saying, just let things come in. And as you move in a more gentler way, you will find that the people that you may have been a little bit short with, or you've had a little bit of distance with, that will be coming together. So 10 of Cups is very often about that happy families, about that joy, about relationships. And when I say relationships, remember, I'm talking about neighbours, colleagues, family, friends. Doesn't have to be partners. But that is all looking very positive. So if we take this guidance, and remember, you do have free will, but if we take this guidance, we have got the Hanged Man coming in here. So I do feel that February, although things are moving, I do feel there is still going to be, do you know, it's almost as if I feel as though you're not ready yet to make those big decisions. You're not ready yet to go full steam ahead into the next stage. Now, that may be coming for March and April, and I'm sure it will be. But for the end of February, don't be too worried if things haven't moved and haven't progressed as much as you would want them to be. We've got Queen of Swords energy here. Remember, that's just really letting you know to be patient. But when I say that, don't take people's rubbish, okay? There's a real feeling here of this beautiful movement of through, just as I've said, about letting ideas come. But sometimes we need to be patient with those ideas. So, as I've said, and I do feel there's going to be change for many of you when it comes to finances, however that looks. As I've said, new job, retirement, relationship changes, moving home. So as we come to the end here, this is very much this feeling of allowing, have the patience, don't overthink things. It's almost as if I want to say, think about things, look at things properly before you make any decisions. But once the decision's made, it's done. So if something no longer serves you, and we're going back to that release feeling here, but if something no longer serves you, whether that's a situation, etc., the cards are very much guiding you to having that patience, making the decision, but once you've made the decision, it's done. With the Hanged Man here, I like this energy because I feel that as we move through February is going to be a gentle or a more gentler energy. But obviously things probably won't be tied up by the end of the month. So the guidance here is to just take our time. If there are delays in something, allow those delays to happen. They're happening for a reason. But there's no rush here. Don't be rushing into anything, okay? So I'm going to just pull you a couple of oracle cards. And please, if that's made any sense to you, if this reading's made sense, I was on YouTube 10 years ago with a channel and I've only just returned. So if you've enjoyed this reading, any help, support, love would be much appreciated. Let me know if this resonates with you in the comments, because that would be interesting both for me but for the other people that's on this path. We're all on this path together, remember. So let me pull a couple of cards for you. Isn't it funny? I can sometimes use 3, 4, 5 decks of cards, and very often they'll all say the same thing, but in a different way. So, beautiful cards here. We have got, I'm hoping this is turned around the right way. We have got the Sun card here. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay, so you've got the Sun card here. Now, it's in this deck, it's a number 1. So ones are all about new starts. Now, bearing in mind this is a 1 year. So we've just come out of a 9. So we've released a lot of stuff. Last year was very difficult for many of us. That, as you can see from the cards I've just read, it's not finished. It's not magically, hey, we're now in February 2026 and everything's wonderful. But you will feel that sense of movement. And if you have been feeling a little bit worried and a little bit down, concerned about things, you will start seeing things just nicely turning up, being more positive. Okay, so with this Sun, and it's a 1 energy, so it's these new starts. Okay, so it's these new starts. The Sun card is all about happiness. It's all about happiness. It's all about healing. It's all about being that place where, do you know what I want to say? It's about being in that place of, we're supposed to be enjoying life. We're supposed to be having a happy life. We've came here to enjoy. Now, I know we've came here to learn and to grow and to experience things. But with this coming in, also what I want to say is we've got the World card here as well. Okay. Oops. There we go. So now in the World card in Tarot, that's all to do with the endings. It's closing up that chapter. So this is why I'm saying it's interesting that these cards have come out, because as I've already said with the cards I've just read for you, things are being tied up, things are being closed off, but they're not being closed off in a horrible manner. They're being closed off, and it's almost as though we've got that sense of understanding of why. Okay, so, and it's been in that place of, okay, the new place, the new world, the new journey hasn't started yet, and we're here saying, okay, so what's happening? How's this going to pan out? But with this being with the Sun, there's this sense of huge positivity, huge happiness. I want to say there's just that, if you've been feeling a little bit tight right now, a little bit wound down, I should say ground down, but that feeling of being ground down and because of worry, which is completely understandable, know that as February comes through, and you may be feeling it already, there's just this air of lightness coming in. I know as that ways come into spring in the next few months, there is going to be that sense of lightness, depending on obviously where you're watching this from. Northern Hemisphere people, you understand what I'm saying. But there's, as I say, we've got the Sun card, we've got the World, and we've also got Door to Spirit. All right. Now, I always like to, can you see that card? So I always like to say, now bearing in mind that you have spirit around you all the time, not in a scary way, but in a very loving, genuine, being held way. So know that the difficulties that we all go through, your loved ones are there, keeping an eye on you, watching, supporting, loving you, wanting you to have as happy a life as possible. So, friends, I hope that's made some sense to you, and I hope that that you've enjoyed that reading. As I say, please do feel free to write in the comments if you've enjoyed that reading, and I will hopefully see you next month. So if you wish to subscribe, that would be wonderful and I would hugely appreciate that. But for the meantime, and I may see you back in a couple of weeks, I may do an extra reading, but in the meantime, you take care, have a lovely week, and I will hopefully see you very soon. Bye for now.